What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Six Gaming Podcast. Filling in for your host, as always, it's Ron Klee. Shows off killing the animals, which is good. Save the frames, kill the animals. He's got the right idea.
Yeah.
So it works, man. We have two glorious podcasters with us that managed to both make it in today instead of just Dan. Dan's like, wait, am I on the wrong podcast? Okay, I'm sorry. They're not glorious. They're awesome and illustrious.
That's better.
Quit taking my line. I'm going to be taking all your lines today, Show. You're going to be extremely upset.
Whose line is it anyway?
Yours. Say hi.
Hi. I'm here with Laura Ha and Linda Taylor on the piano, and we're going to sing a song for you.
Okay, well, moving on. That was Pantherian. Then we have... Who are you?
Someone, apparently.
I don't recognize you.
No one ever does.
What did you do?
I got a haircut and shaved.
Damn.
Gross.
Serious.
Well, I want a job, so...
Jobs are good.
I can't look like an Amish hippie.
Well, I want a job.
Amish hippie. That's about right. I think that describes what you looked like before.
If I didn't know you better, I think you'd live in your mom's basement.
I've never lived in a basement, thank you. I've lived in attics.
This is the angry Vegetto. He's
I'm
not
tired.
angry yet, but I'm sure we'll get some anger out of him
Talk
eventually.
about something stupid in Microsoft. I'll be angry in a minute, or Apple-y.
We do have a little bit of stupidity a little later on, but first we're going to move on to Shosan's favorite part of the show. He's in chat because he doesn't want to miss this part of the show. It's just I can't describe how much it pains him to miss this part of the show. This is news.
It doesn't pain him. He's not in pain.
Huh?
He's not in pain. I mean, other than his usual pain.
He's always in pain.
He's always in pain.
He's always in pain.
He's got usual pain.
Shosan spelling it out in chat. I love it. All right, so let's talk about Mario. Of course, Mario Odyssey just got announced not too long ago. And there was a recent article that came out where the developers have said they're not putting any game overs in this. None whatsoever. You just play, and if you die, you don't really lose the life. You don't go back to where you need to. I don't even know if you die in this game.
You do, but...
You do. There's no game overs.
I don't know why people are getting fucking butthurt over it.
Well, we're going to talk about this in the roundtable, so save your opinions for them. We're just going to introduce it now and let people mull it over a little bit.
ASJW.
Yeah, and of course, we had previous Mario games where you'd only get a set number of lives, but you'd have the other thing that means if there's no concept of lives, where the fuck is the 1-up mushroom?
Well, you do lose the coins, by the way.
Where's the green mushroom? I want the green 1-up mushroom. That's like
there's one and something else. We'll find out.
Show
owns a Switch, so we'll find out.
Show you'll tell us, right? Show will tell us. Okay, we're good. And moving on, we have, of course, Mario. The Mario series has. Did you guys catch any of the Super Mario block?
No.
They did a 5-game Super Mario relay race, warpless.
Jesus.
Which was Super Mario 1, 2, 3 Lost Levels and World. And they did those 5 games, and it was pretty fantastic. I mean, they were doing some things that I wouldn't even think of. Like this one guy was clipping just about every pipe he could.
So they're
running through the pipes.
Any percent.
Huh?
It was no warp, but any not really any percent, but like
warpless, not glitchless.
Right. Okay.
Which reminds me, there's a Mirror's Edge, I think it was. The guy on the couch was such a douchebag because he was supposed to be doing a glitchless run, and every time he did something that looked strange, he's like, "Hey, is that a glitch?" No, that's not a glitch. Hey, well, I think you just glitched there. No, it's not. And it was clear that it was like intended banter between the two guys.
Yeah. Well, it's like when they did the Undertale at the end of ADDQ, and he lost 3 lives on a certain thing on purpose because that's the fastest way through. He's like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I made a mistake. Oh, my finger twitched there. Oh my god. Well, anyway, I guess I got to restart." No, just kidding. I was watching a Majora's Mask a little bit earlier, and he did the same thing. He's like, "Oh man, I got hit there. Oh man." And then he's like, "No, that was a death warp. Just kidding." Like,
Yeah, if you ever run it at GDQ, don't do that, kids.
yeah,
Just
tell people what you're doing.
just be normal. But yeah, it was a really good run. But GDQ is making the news quite a bit here. Of course, did you guys hear about the timer on the first day of the event?
Yeah.
Only because we talked about it.
Did we talk about that last week?
No, I mean, like, I talked about it with you on the.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I didn't. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so on the first day of the event, the about 22 or 23 hours of the event, somebody discovered that the timer that they used to track how long the games are taking to be played was running too slow, and it invalidated at least 2 world records.
That sucks.
Yep. Okay, it was a Castlevania one that I know for sure got kicked out, and it's like, that's got to be intentional. How do you do that kind of thing at an event like this? What would cause that kind of fail on something that's been working just fine for the past however many years?
It happens. Like, I've seen dumber shit in League of Legends.
No, I mean, this is a timer though. This is like something that's like basic to your operating system. You have to. I still think somebody intentionally fucked with something. I can't come up with another way that would work. Shosan says they used an Intel processor. It's too slow.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Up next, by the way, is Breath of the Wild. Any percent, 50 minute.
Okay, we're done here, guys. You have a good night. See you. Bye.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was really bizarre. They fixed it, apologized to the runners. Yeah, but I mean, nothing big came of it. But yeah, even the runners were like, yeah, I thought that time was faster than what it was. And so, yeah. So another bit of SGDQ news is, have you guys ever played Cluster Truck?
Yes.
So
I kind of want to now that I've seen that.
So apparently what the developers Landfall did with Cluster Truck is they made it so that there's a backdoor to the game.
Ron said backdoor.
I did.
He said door.
And these guys just, that shit made no
They
sense.
sneak right in your back door while you're playing.
Yes. And basically what happened is the developers can log into anyone's game session and basically start fucking with the game session, doing
Change
whatever they
gravity,
want. And even
whatever.
display a message like, hello, SGDQ, which is what they did. And it's like, as soon as they did that, the couch commentator's like, yeah, anything bad that happens at this point is the developer's fault. I don't know if the guy finished the run, but 097 Ace of Spades was doing the run, and they fucked with his run in the middle of GDQ. It was great.
I think they were asking in chat, like, what should we do? Like,
Yeah.
it was all in good fun. Everyone kind of knew that was going to happen, I think.
Yeah, which is just kind of cool that, you know, when developers get involved with GDQ. I mean, we've seen that in the past with the voice actor for help me out. What's the name of the game? Shosan freaking bought it for me, and I never play it.
That's a lot of games for me.
Was it Bastion?
No, it was the same developer that did Pit People.
Oh,
Castle Crashers.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's just
like having things when the developers come in and do stuff like that is really cool. So it was good that was, it was all in good fun. So pretty cool. And yeah, GDQ is still going on. They've already passed $1 million. I don't know what the count is.
2 million. They're like 1.6.
Are that 1.6?
Yeah, and last one, so AGDQ over winner was 2.2 million. So
Yeah,
there's always a big spike. There's always a big the spike at the end. So
wow, that's pretty insane. And it's still going through tomorrow. They're running a bit behind too, because like the Necrodancer block was supposed to start at like 12:30 a.m. and ended up being like 3:15. So and they're doing a lot of they actually added an incentive for Portal 2.
yeah.
I don't know if that got hit or not, or if it's still in progress, or what the deal with that is.
What was the incentive?
To play it.
Oh,
And it's like, what, 200,000, I think it was?
Yeah, but
Jesus.
I mean, it was
they're close.
way up there. And of course, people are doing it. So,
Yep.
But yeah, so there's that. And that's pretty much it for GDQ. I mean, there's still a lot of things going on there, but we've got some other things going on as well. Dan told me about this one. So did you buy a Steam Link yet?
I've had one for a while.
You've had one for a while? You can
might
get
not
it.
need one soon.
How do you feel about it being built into a TV now?
Amazing.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's interesting. So Samsung is building the Steam Link right into their TVs. I don't know if they're doing it for most of them or just a select line of them, but yeah, that saves you from having to buy it from Steam. So pretty nice little hardware upgrade. And of course, we got some Blizzard news going on. Of course, if you're living under a rock, then you don't know that Overwatch has released on the PTR Doomfist.
Yeah,
Play him on the PTR.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm very disappointed.
You know what I'm disappointed in? I'm disappointed that there's so many Overwatch streams out there. So let the fisting begin.
No.
And I'm like, come on, try harder, internet, try harder. But yeah, he's available on the PTR. No ETA on the release date, as is the usual for Blizz. But why are you disappointed with him?
It's not Terry Crews that voice acts him. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that is really disappointing.
Well, you can't have everything, I guess.
You shut your hole.
But apparently, if you got the Necromancer pack for Diablo 3 or are running with the Necromancer as a Demon Hunter, you can have Greater Rift 146.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because it was discovered that the Necromancer ability that kills enemies when they're under 15% doesn't actually set them to dead. It does 9 quadrillion damage or whatever 2 to the 63rd minus 1 is. And
Wait,
kills
you
them.
scared?
Yes. So a Demon Hunter puts Mark for Death on them. And now when that thing explodes, it does 15% of 9 quadrillion damage to everything in a 20-yard range.
Holy shit.
Yes. So, yeah, you can imagine that people are abusing the ever-loving crap out of that. The latest that we've heard is that the hot fix to fix this, you can still do it right now, to fix this is coming Monday. But they had to delay it once already. So we'll see if it actually drops Monday. And then what are they going to do about all these people with level 140 legendary gems?
Probably cancel them out.
You got to do something. Might be a wave of bans for the exploit.
That's how, Ikea always was. If there's something that you know is an exploit and you're using it, doesn't matter if it's announced or not. Like, if something's not working the way it really ought to work, then you assume that it's not supposed to be working that way.
Yep.
Well,
we've talked about that in the past.
Yeah.
Hi, Nick. Yeah, Fitch?
I was going to say, I would only say that if they didn't know about it, but yeah, if they're abusing it, then yeah, they need to ban Hammer.
Like,
I
if
don't
you
say-
accidentally.
But how do you determine, out of however many hundreds of people that are doing this, who's doing it maliciously?
But if you're doing it at this point, then it's malicious, I think. Like,
Yeah.
and maybe not malicious.
The
so much
big
as like,
problem with that is that Necromancers, one of their core skills is that particular curse, and Demon Hunters, one of their core skills is that mark for death.
But if you like see stuff going on, you'd be like, this isn't right. Like, I think I'd be like, something's not working right.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? Just break your
Right.
build?
Yeah.
It's a lot of gray area, and we'll see what happens after the patch drops. How this all falls out. We might end up talking about this again next week. We'll see. So
I'm not worried about it, just for the simple fact this is a pre-season event thing, and they're trying to get all the kinks out of the demon.
Right. That's the point of it.
yeah, and to that end, season 11 doesn't start until a week from Thursday, so they have a lot of time to fix it. And they've even said that if they can't get this fixed in a reasonable time frame, they'll even push back that date. So tentatively, season 11 is going to start Thursday, I think at 5 p.m. Pacific, as always. So I might actually be playing this time. You know why?
Why?
Sir Morphod now owns Diablo 3.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and he's on BattleNet. So
I'd love to get the Necromancer, but I can't afford it right now.
I still want to. I'm still married to the Witch Doctor. I don't know why. I used to think the monk was my thing, and then I started playing the Witch Doctor. I'm like, this is so much better.
I think Demon Hunter was kind of my favorite. I did enjoy Necromancer on the PTR or the beta or whatever. We'll see. I might buy it, but I don't know how much Destiny 2 is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured that's
it's $60.
Yeah. I'm going to use my Blizz money for that, but I might wait for that to be on sale too. So who knows?
Yeah. All right. Shosans asks, is he the only Wizard fan? I'm sure he's not the only one out there. Maybe the only one on the podcast. I mean, Wizards are perfectly fine too. So cool. Any other news you guys got?
Rift Rivals was this week.
Dan, hold on. Before you start saying stuff like that, Veg, you have to ask Dan what's he drinking.
Hey, Dan.
I'm drinking Lefroy Select.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Veg, get the fuck off this podcast.
No.
You gotta be nice to the guys that don't play League.
We don't play League, Ron.
Watch League, fine.
You know how it plays and stuff.
Okay, so does my grandma, I think.
All right, Veg, League news. What do you got?
So Rift Rivals was essentially EU versus NA and all the shit talking that they normally do to each other. It all ended today, and TSM won. They destroyed them.
Surprise! Favorite team. TSM.
That's my favorite team. And no, they just stomped out. They lost one game to UOL once during the preliminaries, essentially, and then they met up with them again in the finals and just 3-0'd them.
How does that work? Is it always NA versus EU?
No. Rift Rivals, yes.
How do they do a tournament with that? Like if 2 NA teams win?
No. It's strictly NA versus EU. They have 3 NA teams and 3 EU teams that fight each other. And they do a 2-round robin.
So best records face each other?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. Cool. So
and it just was bad. It really was for the teams of Fnatic. Fnatic was fucking atrocious.
Ugh.
It was bad. Like
it was.
Well, not essentially because we're not that far off. It's just we were just a bit better. That's all it was. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just location wise or whatnot. But Korea is going to be on top for the longest for esports. I don't know why it's always been like that. There's only one. Well, that too. But there's only one non-Korean person I can remember who actually beat the shit out of Koreans, and that was StarCraft, and that was Stefano. Mm-hmm. And that was way back in the day. He retired because he's like, I can't keep up with this.
Yeah.
He goes, I won my World Series. He goes, I can't do it again, and I know I can't do it again, and he quit.
Yep.
He goes, I did what I came to do, I accomplished it, and I quit.
Well, there you
go. And that's how I see, Rift Rivals was basically like, oh yeah, these guys can shit talk each other, but when it comes down to who can actually be better, they have nothing on Koreans and they know it, Sorry.
No. Go and finish.
I was gonna say it's just until we can get on the skill level of Korea, where
oh yeah, absolutely.
Fnatic is going to be pretty much the only non-Korean team to win Worlds.
Well, there are other. Wait, was it always a Korean team that's won since?
Yep,
I think so.
Well, it was season 1 and 2. I think were non-Korean. No, season 2 was Korean. I think, yeah.
But I'm actually gonna look this up because I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
Unless there was a Chinese.
So season 1 was Fnatic. Season 2 was Taipei.
Taipei Assassins. Okay, that's
Korea.
Chinese, and then
the rest of then Korean.
Yeah. So they had their nice little run, and then just Korea took over. And I don't know why, but I think that kind of kills some esports a little bit, like League of Legends and StarCraft 2, because as soon as I realized that it's just another Korean fighting another Korean, I just don't find that fun.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the only reason why I would even follow it at that point is just simply because SK Telecom. Like, the year it was Samsung versus Starhorn, I didn't care.
Oh, I didn't give a shit either.
That was the year I actually watched it, and I was like,
Yeah, weren't you
okay.
over my house for that?
I might have been. I don't know. I don't think I was because I was talking to Kathy about it because Imagine Dragons was playing that year.
No. You were season 2, weren't you?
3, maybe 3. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't remember. But yeah,
no,
I've caught the finals for the last 3 years now. So
yeah,
next one's in Beijing. That's kind of cool.
that's interesting.
So,
But I just,
Raptor saying, I think it's strange to stop caring about a match just because all the competitors are Korean.
It's not racist in that way.
It's disappointment that it keeps happening, that nobody can challenge these gods of gaming, you know.
Exactly. And it's not fun to watch that. Like I understand their culture, and I do. You know, I have nothing against it. It has, you know, it's not fun to watch. Just, you know, basically the same person win over and over and over again. I'm tired of seeing SKT1 win World. Like, you know, I'm tired of watching. Oh God, what the hell is his name in StarCraft? But there's one guy who's won like unimaginable amount of tournaments right now.
Yeah,
I'm tired of seeing the same person win. It's not fun to watch.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, can you imagine how the NBA was back when Boston won 8 in a row?
Oh my God! Or fucking
no one does that anymore.
No, and the same with Jimmy Johnson in NASCAR. He's won fucking 7 championship series. Like,
but Raptor says, sure, everyone loves an underdog. I guess that's kind of the mentality too. But also, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing TSM win 8 years in a row. How about that? Well, if it was TSM on top, you know?
No,
that'd be another thing entirely.
So. I'd find that annoying.
It might be annoying, but I mean, it would depend. Are they entertaining? Are they fun to watch?
They can be.
Or are they just like by the skin of their teeth and not really caring, and they still manage to win and stuff like that? So,
well, that's how these games were. It's just like they won by this, you know. It's just like at the end of it, Unicorns of Love just didn't try.
Yep.
Now the third match they did, like they realized, oh shit, we're gonna lose. And they had a nice comeback, but just ultimately lost. But what I mean is that the first and second place teams generally are never on par with each other. You know, they barely are. And the perfect example was that the Starhorns match. Mm-hmm. We knew who was going to win.
Yep, absolutely. It was Samsung all the way. And they dropped that one game. It's like, what are they doing?
Yeah, it's like they looked like they were fucking around that game.
Yeah, pretty much. The SK Telecom Samsung one was actually a very close series.
And it was awesome to watch.
That was actually entertaining, even though it was, you know, Korea versus Korea.
Right, and that's, you know, and it's not that, I don't know, we just need to get on Korea's skill level. And I'm just very happy that, you know, America and Europe are actually starting to take esports a bit more seriously.
Absolutely. So, yeah, speaking of League of Legends, how about that Urgot alt?
Oh, my God.
If you haven't seen, they're redesigning probably one of the ugliest and least played champs in the game, Urgot. And previously, his alt was, okay, you sit there for a minute and you just switch locations with your opponent, which can put you in a really bad spot. It's like very hard to use that alt. Now they've changed it up, and among other things, they changed up his alt so that you mark them. And if they get below a certain health, you hit the button again, and it stuns them and pulls them into you. And you have this animation on Urgot of these 2 grinders. You're just pulling the champion to their death in these grinders. And then when you actually kill them, anything that's close to you gets feared. It's hilarious. I think it's gruesome, but it's probably one of the most creative, well thought out alts in the game I've seen.
That's like some fucking Mortal Kombat shit right there.
I know, it's so good.
And I found out through this because of Coles. He was just like screaming. He's like, "Oh my God, Urgot!" He goes, "I
actually knew about it before he told me about it. It was like trending on Twitter. I'm like, Jesus, what is Urgot doing trending on Twitter? I was like, did somebody play him and do really well with them or something? No, it's completely the redesign. By the way, I'm going to guess that they met that Portal 2 incentive at GDQ, considering they're playing it right now.
Jesus.
So yeah, it's a pretty neat redesign. So definitely check that out.
And there's also a giant stir in the community with League of Legends right now with the new champion. because the new champion basically can phase through walls and crazy shit like that. And I've seen him, and I played a bit of it on the PTB or whatever they call it. And he's not fair. He is just. They need to stop making champions for a while.
Yeah, trying to get a little too creative with them.
Well, and I like to compare Dota and League of Legends because they're almost they're the same IP essentially. I find, even though I find it more confusing because I'm not as well adversed as I am in League of Legends, I find it more fun to watch.
Interesting.
Because there's so many champions they pick, where it's like, oh yeah, there's a certain roster, but with Dota, it's like, oh yeah, I got a certain champion, but I'll play whatever, and it doesn't hinder the game, as in like, oh yeah, if you don't pick these champions, you're screwed.
Yeah.
For the entire match, you're always playing behind. You have to do it this way or that way, or you're forever trapped in this elo or this meta game.
Right. Very cool. Anything else we got for news? If not, we're moving on to the next section of the podcast. This is the second half of the podcast. I don't know if you heard, but this actually is Shosan's favorite part of the show.
What isn't anymore?
What is it? Yeah, I mean, there's news.
He is news.
He is news. He's bad news is what he is. This is games, and we got all kinds of games we've been playing this week. And considering we appear to have lost Dan, I think he's drunk himself to death. So, Veg, why don't you tell us what you've been playing since we last saw you?
I've been playing a Borderlands 2 with my brother. Just bought the Game of the Year edition back when it was on sale, and we've just been playing it off and on. I've been playing it here and there with another character. It's a lot of fun. If you've never played it, I suggest you pick it up. Unfortunately, it's past the sale for it, so it's back to full price. I think it's like $20 or something like that, $30. It's still worth the price. It's so much fun to play. It just has the craziest dialogue you can ever think of. It's wacky, it's zany, it's fucking hilarious. One of my favorite things is, here, butt stallion, here, girl.
What?
Yes, one of the main protagonists named his diamond horse Butt Stallion.
That's okay. Well, we'll run with that.
I'll link it to you later. But I've been mostly playing that. Fallout 4 with mods. Just, dear God, it's so much fun having a Gundam armor suit.
Nice.
It's like has science gone too far? But I've been playing that, and then F1. F1 was pretty funny today. I don't know what Codemasters do or think sometimes, because they just make their AI racers on the higher levels just so goddamn aggressive. Like, you're already in a lane, and like, oh, if you don't get out of that lane, they're gonna wreck you.
Whoops.
So my car glitched and literally went like 1,000 feet up in the air.
Whee.
And it just, like, when it landed, everything broke. Like, you literally saw the car, like, it has a little image of what's damaged on the car, and you just see red. And you're like, I was like, okay, I wish I was streaming when that happened. I was just doing a practice run.
Fantastic.
I've never seen it. I had to report it. I was like, yo, this happened here, and this is how it happened. And someone got back to me in an email. They're like, yeah, that's not normal. We'll look into it, and I haven't heard anything since.
Yeah. Neat.
That's fun, though.
Anything else?
EVE Online's been a clusterfuck.
When is
about it? No, it's just the group I was in with, they kind of fell apart when we tried to take over systems, and it didn't go too well.
Oops.
So I kind of been... Yeah, they were.
That was going good for you for a while, too.
It was. We had up to 7 systems, and they just fucked it. Oh, whatever.
What can you do? Yep. Anyway, since Dan is totally not back yet, I guess I'll run down what I've been playing. Been playing quite a bit of Crypt of the Necrodancer last week. I got a new personal best time on Nocturna and Dove, and I am one character away from having all my characters in top 40 times.
Good Lord. I'm guessing that's Coda.
Who's counting Coda? No one.
I count him. He's
There's not even 40 people that have finished Coda. I can't get out of zone 2 with him. So yeah.
Oh, I thought you did beat him.
No, I've never beat him. I've not even gotten halfway. So
Is that hard?
but keep in mind that I'm going to be playing this a lot more in the coming. Well, this is kind of weird because I've got 2 games I'm going to be splitting my time between this week because both of them have DLC coming out this week. Necrodancer's the 12th and Sublevel Zero's on the 13th. But yeah, all the times are going to get reset, so I'm going to need to play them all again.
Jesus.
Which I'll totally do. I only have 1,861 hours in Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Only. So, do you count Screeps as a game still?
Yeah. Well, I was going to get to that in a bit. Also picked up Risk of Rain, and I'm actually surprised, 1, at how good the game is, and 2, how freaking hard it is.
I never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's kind of a platformer, kind of a roguelike. Basically, the idea is you got to go find the teleporter, survive for 90 seconds, and then kill everything on the level, move to the next floor. Along the way, you can buy different power-ups, you level up. The difficulty gets harder. The difficulty ended at ha 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 when I finished my last playthrough.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That was kind of fun.
it's like laughing
I
at
don't know
me.
if I got it at some point on like a Humble Bundle and just.
It's a pretty neat game. You should definitely check it out. Play just a little bit of Overload, not too much. I'll be playing that again Sunday. So Dan, you remember watching me play Pac-Man Championship Edition DX Plus, right?
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to have to start playing Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 on stream. It's different and a lot trippier in some spots. Definitely worth checking out.
Anyone who is seizure prone, do not watch this fucking game.
Exactly. I got a chance to play Subnautica on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck do you find salt other than the tears that you're crying because you can't find salt?
It's around.
I couldn't find any. I looked all over the place.
There's like different biomes, and it's in one of the biomes more than the other ones. I feel like I found a decent amount on the way over to like the island.
I didn't even know there was an island.
Yeah, there's a.
Although, isn't it? Is it a static game or is it randomly generated? I thought it was randomly generated.
No, it is a static map.
What is static map? Okay, fair enough.
So there are maps out there you can look up, and it'll tell you where stuff is.
But yeah, I played long enough for the ship to explode, and that's about it. Don't know if I'll go back to it. We'll see. It does seem like an interesting game, though.
They have made some updates. I haven't played it since the updates. One of the reasons why is because now the Leviathan Reapers, one of the really big angry fishies, can blow up your sub, and before they could just knock you around. And
fun.
Like, honestly, I just don't have time for that shit.
I know. Then there was Human Resource Machine. That's a programming game, essentially. I found it pretty fun. I did all the side challenges up through like the first 3 coffee breaks or something. Hot Tin Roof is a hot mess. Have you played that yet, Dan?
I have not.
It's a Freedom Bundle game. It's interesting. It's a kind of half platformer, half RPG. So it's kind of worth checking out. Do you remember when I talked about what was the name of the there was a game where there's fire chasing you and you have to save the cats. It's like a little waste of time arcade game. Same developer, same style, but much more well-rounded in terms of like a story and stuff. This will appease to some people. It's an interesting game. I probably won't finish it. Since I saw that Creeper World 4 was in development, I started going back and playing the first 2 games. I've played Creeper World and finished all the achievements there, and I'm working on Creeper World 2 achievements. Been playing a lot of distance. Got all the diamond times on the official maps, working on some user-created maps. I'm going to 100% that game at some point. I just need to figure out when. And then I'm going to talk about Screeps for a little bit. So Screeps is the game that I've been playing. It's basically a JavaScript RPG. You control all your characters via JavaScript. They live for a certain amount of time. You have to keep recreating them. stuff like that. And I had belonged to a clan called NATO for, I don't know, 6 months. And they kind of died off. One of the leaders stopped playing. The other one moved to a different group. And so I'm like, well, there's like only like 6 of us left. What do we want to do, guys? Only 2 other people answered, first of all. And we're like, well, why don't we just join the guy that went to that other one? Because, that seems safe, right? Just join the same clan. He won't bother us, because he's a pretty big player. So we joined and everything was happy. And then within the matter of 2 weeks, my clan's in the middle of 3 simultaneous wars with other clans. Yeah. Fortunately, they're nowhere near me, but yeah, it's interesting. And they're happy about it. They love it because it's like the core mechanic of the game is combat. That's how you interact with other players. You can do trading as well, but combat's more the thing. So it's been interesting. I've been keeping an eye out, making sure no one's like coming in through a portal or something. So, yeah, it's been interesting for sure. I've also been playing the hell out of Ingress. I'm almost level 9.
Nice.
I play that game.
Huh? What was that, Fetch?
I can't play that game.
Yeah, that's because you don't live. That's because you don't work in downtown San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Let me tell you, I made more AP in the last month. I probably made, let's see, when I got here, I had not hit 300,000 AP after playing it for a couple months. Within a month, I'm now at 2.2 million.
Yeah.
So it's just insane how many more people are playing it here. So it's kind of cool. Dan, what have you been up to?
So I was playing the PTR, playing a little Doomfist. I think it's fun. It's definitely a different. It's kind of high damage melee. Low health, but with shield.
Sorry that you're uneducated.
So get the fuck out, Fetch. Go ahead, Dan.
There's definitely some. There's some strategy that I think hasn't been developed yet. I'm not sure exactly where he fits in. But it might change the meta. I actually saw an interview with what's his face, Jeff something, I think, the lead designer, and he basically said that he's happy where things are. He said that they needed to change Roadhog before to make him not a one-shot killer, and after that, he's pretty much happy, even though the meta has been a little bit static. With like what is it, Winston, Tracer, Genji, someone. Like basically they say like dive, right? You just run in and you can just do crazy damage all at once. And D.Va, I think. And then the other 2 are kind of optional, whatever you want to do. Anyway, so things are probably going to be pretty much the same. They're going to add Doomfist. We'll see what happens. I am also pissed it's not Terry Crews. It should have been Terry Crews, but we'll live. So mostly been playing Overwatch, playing some ranked. I'm at basically the same spot I was before, like 1700. I keep going up and down. I'll be like with a good team and we'll win a couple games, and then everyone will be like, all right, well, I gotta go. So then I'll play a couple games more and people will just be super shitty. And
yeah, it's typically the way it goes.
Hey, Ron, what does that sound familiar of?
Let me see. Diablo, no. Oh god, League of Legends.
Yep.
It's pretty much League of Legends right there.
I swear to God, Coles is like it's like the biggest fucking jinxer ever. Like, we get one good game, he goes, oh, that was easy, and the next game we just get fucking slaughtered because he feeds. He goes, I don't know what happened. I was like, oh, I know what happened. You fucking troll.
Yep. So, yeah, cool. Anything else, Dan?
I'm looking. Just mostly some heroes. I'm playing my heroes games to enter into the Suns Out, Guns Out promotion thing. So you got to play one game a day to get your entries in. And I've been playing Sylvanas a lot lately. That's actually pretty fun because you can.
Sylvanas is awesome.
Yeah, if you angle yourself, you can basically solo a lane. Unless, if people aren't, like, if you're playing AI, right? If you're playing real people, they're going to kick your ass.
Yeah, that depends on how you play it. I've had some really awesome Sylvanas games in PvP.
Yeah, if you're really good and you're lucky, and people don't come after you, then you can solo lane. Definitely in AI, you can solo lane. So.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Help. Go to work. I've been attacked. I'm just glad she doesn't wear makeup. That would be embarrassing.
Yeah. You will have scarlet red lipstick next week.
But anyway.
Yeah, I was briefly looking through my Humble Bundle keys to see if I had whatever the thing you were telling me a minute ago.
Risk of Rain.
Yeah, I'll throw that on my wish list.
It's pretty neat.
Anyway, so yeah, that's about it.
Risk of Rain, by the way, is local co-op as well.
Ooh,
that's rare.
And online co-op, I think, too.
That's honestly, there's a lot of games I've noticed that have online co-op and do not have local co-op. That's just really disappointing because I really want to find a game that my wife can play with me or will play with me. Like we play a couple levels of Battle Block Theater, and I thought for sure she would be into that, but she was not into that.
So, yeah.
Is there a do the dishes simulator? Because I'm pretty sure you'd be down for it.
There's no simulator. It's like do the dishes, and I'm like, okay. I'm basically that Dave Grohl meme. Meme.
Say you. Say
You.
Mimi.
Yeah, I'm basically like, okay.
Oh God.
Anything else?
Anyway,
Moving on.
No.
Like, are we moving on to Shosan's favorite part of the show?
I think we'll go to the third half of the show.
We're going to the third half. There's three halves, people. There are three halves, and this third half of the show is the Six Gaming Roundtable, and we do not have a roundtable with us today, which sucks. But we do have a roundtable today. It's inspired by our talk about Mario Odyssey, and it's kind of funny because I actually noticed this with the Descent series. Because Descent 1 and Descent 2 had a concept of lives, and every 50,000 points, you'd get an extra life.
Yeah.
Descent 3 eliminated the concept of lives. This was back in 99. So you could just keep playing from wherever you left off. There were like certain save points you'd get to, and you'd start from that save point every time. And it didn't matter how much you died, you could just keep going. And apparently, this is where the Mario series is going after 30 years.
30 years.
No, it started way shorter than that. It's been going on for years now.
With the Mario series specifically?
Yes.
Okay.
It's been going on since.
I mean, there's a concept of, okay, you ran out of lives, so you want to continue from the start of the world, not from the last checkpoint.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why people are like, oh my God, you fucking millennials are getting everything easy and blah, blah, blah. Like, if you look back, even as early as Mario 64, and frankly, even Super Mario World, I guess, right?
Yeah.
On SNES, like, if you got a game over, what did you really lose? Like, the couple minutes it took to go back to the start screen, and then you have to re-enter your game, and then maybe you lost like, a level worth of progress or something like that.
To be fair, Super Mario 1 was the same way. The original Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I don't know why they're
you hold down the A button and hit start, and you start at the last world you died on.
I was not aware of this. I learned something today.
Welcome to the 1980s, Dan.
Yeah.
Or was that 90s? When did Super Mario 1 come out?
Before I was born.
Not September 13, 1985. 32 fucking years old. My God.
85. Wow.
You know what else is 32 years old, by the way, I found out recently?
Yeah.
NetHack.
Almost me.
NetHack is 32 years old.
Oh.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
It's an ASCII-based roguelike. In fact, it's based on the game Rogue. That's how roguelike is.
NetHack is basically Rogue.
Your character is an @ symbol.
Yep. And
your dog is represented by a lowercase d.
And when you drink the purple potion, it doesn't do the same thing every time.
Nope, because the potions are different every time. And it's kind of funny because Death State has that too. The potions aren't the same color every game, which is cool. I like that kind of thing.
No, it's just, I don't understand the bitching. I don't. Like, it saves you an extra couple minutes from loading in shit. Like,
right. It doesn't do any, like, you lose a couple coins, and actually apparently coins are more valuable in Odyssey. Like that's actually a better. I think they're realizing, and again, we've talked about this a zillion times, and I always say that we talked about this a zillion times. Gamers today have less time. There are more games. Gamers are, I think, on average older, or otherwise have more shit that they have to take care of, right? So they're either older like us, we have jobs and families and crap that we have to deal with before we can play games, or they're younger, but they still have like tons more schoolwork than people used to have or whatever. And so your time is valuable. And if a game makes you waste time doing stupid shit, then people aren't going to want to play it. So when you say game over and it makes like you, okay, now I have to wait for the game over screen. Okay, now I have to reset progress. And it's like barely enough to matter. Like in Super Mario Galaxy, if you got a game over, first of all, you walked in and you got a letter with like 10 extra lives in it. I think I had 99 lives almost all the time, just because they were so stupid easy to get. So
in other words, you had to be extremely bad for you not to get lives.
If you just had like a huge stream of bad luck right near the beginning before you got your extra lives, and you managed to get a game over screen, all it did was kick you out to the main menu. You went back in and you lost your progress that you had in that world. I think that was it. Like it didn't mean anything anyway. So what's the point of it?
Yeah, I kind of agree, because Super Mario 1, 2, and 3 were the same way. Super Mario 1, you go to 3-1, you bounce on the turtle 150 times, and you have enough lives to finish the game. Super Mario 2, you get all the coins in each level, and you play the slot machine. The slot machine is so easy to game. It's so easy to figure out how to get one-ups out of that. Super Mario 3, there's that castle in World 7 where you turn all of the bricks into coins, and you literally get hundreds and hundreds of coins. You only need 100 for one up, and then you intentionally die and do it all over again. Yep. That's how I beat Super Mario 3 the first time. I found that castle and was like, wait, I could just abuse this for extra lives all day.
You didn't just double warp whistle, P-wings over the tanks, swim under the ships, and then play like last 2 levels?
Yeah, I mean, that's a speedrun way, but I wasn't good at speedrunning back in the late 80s, early 90s, whatever it was.
That's just how I always played the game.
Yeah.
In fact, I was really excited when I found Giant World, when I finally, many years later, I actually played the game
as intended. Yeah.
I just think it's funny that they make comparisons like, oh, Dark Souls, you know, it's so unforgiving, you know, oh, it's very old school. It's like, no, it's not. When you die, you spawn back at the base camp and you go back into the world. Yeah, the mobs reset, but at the same time, if you're good enough, you know how to avoid it. Like the reason I stopped playing Bloodborne was it wasn't mine, and you know, I just didn't find it appealing. Like I don't find that style of game appealing. I don't. You know, I find it kind of tedious and boring. Like I find it extremely grindy. I find it more grinding than World of Warcraft.
Yep.
And that's surprising to say. And everyone's like, no, it's different. It's different. You know, no, it's not. Shut the fuck up. It's an MMO because you have to because it's based off of RNG. Yeah, it's more of a, you know what's going to drop and where stuff is going to drop at. You know, there's more of a loot table or a more stabilized loot table than WoW.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just, I don't understand all the hate. I don't understand all the bitching and whining.
And for me, it's like, it's just, I'm never going to play Super Mario Odyssey. You know why? Because it's probably going to take days to beat. I don't like those kind of games anymore. I liked them when I was a kid. Now I want to play my, you know, somewhere between 15 minutes and like maybe an hour at most and get through the game and then try to get better at it the next time I play it. That's why I play games like Crypt of the Necrodancer, Sublevel 0, Death State, games like that, games Overload, or the games that challenge me in a short amount of time, and then I can keep playing and get better and better. Distance, that I do it at that game too.
Yep. And I noticed that with myself too. Like I remember spending hours upon hours in raids and raiding and whatnot. And now
I don't like doing that anymore.
Yeah, I don't like doing it. Like I don't mind doing LFR with my wife occasionally. Like I don't mind doing that, you know. But I know that it's only going to take about half an hour to an hour at the most.
Yep.
You know, because it's LFR.
I agree in general, except that I don't have the skill to win those. Like, I have not won a game of Binding of Isaac. I have not won a game of FTL. I have not won all the way through Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Did you know, Dan, my very first game of FTL, I died on phase 2 of the flagship.
Oh, that's
I think I got to phase 1 of the flagship, and then a while later I got to phase 2, and I was like, fuck, there's a second phase. And I was like, I bet there's a third phase. I'm not even gonna assume that there's only 2 phases, so someday I will get to the third phase.
Yes, there are 3 phases. But
yeah. So
it's kind of funny because I watch a streamer by the name of Crow Revel, who at one point he was playing on hard mode and had a streak. I want to say it was 16 wins consecutively with 16 different chips.
Jesus.
Yeah. He's insanely good at the game. He knows, and the thing is that FTL, and this is what scares me. If I were to get into FTL, I would be damn good at that game because that game is straight knowledge, pretty much.
And that's a frustratingly fun game too.
It is. It was a lot of fun. I only played it that one time, but I watch it a lot. It's more for me. That game is more fun to watch. It's like Darkest Dungeon. It's for me. It's more fun to watch than to play. I don't think I could have any fun playing Darkest Dungeon, but oh my god, watching it's hilarious.
Yeah,
it's so funny whenever you see one of the characters get go insane, and then they get this thing like masochism. They're like hurting themselves every 2 turns, and how the player deals with managing that, and it's fun to watch. I wouldn't want to play it. It would be so frustrating.
I just find that game insane. I do.
Yeah, but I mean, there's games out there that don't have game overs that are just fine. RPGs. How many RPGs actually have a game over?
I mean, if your party dies, then it usually says like you lose or game over, or the quest came to an end, or something.
I'm thinking more of things like World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah. Well, then,
like EVE Online, there's no game over in EVE Online. You get potted, you still get to play.
Yeah, but
you lose some things. There's a penalty for death, but it's not game over. It's like Odyssey. That's Odyssey. You're taking a penalty for dying. Achaea, you died, you lost a level or 2, or in some cases 6. You know, it's the way that games deal with losing conditions. It's going to vary from game to game, and I don't think what Odyssey's doing is necessarily wrong.
No, I don't either. I just don't understand all the hate. I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. That's what I'm saying, is that there's so many ways that losing conditions can. And I say losing conditions, and not as in game over, but like World of Warcraft, losing condition. You lose all your health and you die. You know, you kind of lost there. You lost the fight. It's what a game does to get you back into the game that I find pretty important. For games like Crypt of the Necrodancer and Death State that are like really short to play, starting all over is not a big deal, and that's why I like those kind of games.
Yep.
So, yeah. Yeah, Doom really had no scores?
No. Yeah, it did.
I thought Doom had scored.
It does. At the end of the level, it doesn't have like scores, but it has like percentiles.
Oh, like percent. Yeah, it's got that, but I mean, that's different. Like Descent always had score. There's a concept of score in Descent, and it's like every 50,000 points you get a life. Even in Descent 3, where your score didn't matter, there was still score. It still existed.
Oh, so. But other like point wise, no, there's no score for Doom.
Yeah, so
it was get good.
Yeah, get good, son. All right. Anything else? I think it's a pretty good discussion. I could talk about this for hours.
Oh yeah,
all kinds of different games.
But it's 11, and we have to be done.
It is, yeah. And I actually, speaking of losing conditions, I'm actually itching to play Spelunky, and I don't know why.
Bless you.
I'm probably going to play that game. So yeah, that's going to do it for the Six Gaming Podcast this week. Thank you all for joining and bringing your contributions. That's always much appreciated. It's kind of interesting because normally Dan does the script, Dan brings the viewers. Today I did the script and brought the viewers. How about that?
I try to bring viewers.
Well, I wanted to finish on what the game I'm actually playing right now. And it cracks me up. Is that there's in Borderlands 2, there is a death, but you lose money every time you die. But the funnier thing is, at one point, the main protagonist is like, "Hey, if you kill yourself, instead of losing money, I'll give you $100. And if you actually kill yourself, he gives you $100."
Well done. I mean, there's times in World of Warcraft where you actually have to die to do things.
Yeah, it's stupid. I find that-
What was that one quest where you get the hat? You get that one hat. I don't remember what it's called
Oh,
exactly.
I know what you're talking about.
But you
Another
have to visit someone in a graveyard when you're dead.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Stuff like that.
They got rid of that quest, I think.
Anyway, we're done here. So again, thanks for joining. You can always check us out over at 6.gg. You can find information about our podcast, Discord, and how to fuck with the bot, which apparently a lot of people don't know is on that site because bots are hard.
Yep.
So
Romero said that about to, you know what else? John Romero's about to make you his bitch.
Oh God, shut your hole.
Anybody who got PC Gamer in the mid '90s knows that shit.
Yeah, and he failed miserably.
wait, hold on. What? I missed this. What is this?
Oh, you didn't? So for about a year, in I guess 97, 98 time frame, if you got PC Gamer, each issue had a full page ad that said John Romero is about to make you his bitch.
Yeah,
Wow.
And it was ads for Daikatana.
and that game failed miserably because of it.
Miserably.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was, by the way, just total side note. I was back at my parents' house a while back, and I found, I think the first issue I got was like December 1997 or something like that of PC Gamer. And it was about that thick because it was mostly ads.
Yeah.
But it had like, I think it was a special edition Jedi Knight 2, or sorry, Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight. And it was like, yes, these are actual screenshots. Like people were blown away by the graphics. And it's just weird to think about. We're like, stuff hasn't really advanced that much. But you look at old games, you're like, you're right, that looked kind of shitty. But at the time, that looked amazing and like unreal. Like were the first what was that Star Trek Elite Force, which was like a, an FPS on Voyager.
Oh yeah.
And on the bridge, so the bridge is like curved, right? And everything actually looks circular. And it was one of the first few games where things actually looked round rather than being jagged, like when you try to build round shit in Minecraft, right? Like, and it's just weird to look back and be like, we have really come a long way. But at the same time, everyone's playing retro games that are all pixel shit. So
I know it's so weird that pixelated graphics has become like almost expected. Well, like the three big games that I play, Necrodancer, Sublevel 0, and Death State, all have some form of pixelation in it.
But it's because it's easier to make those graphics, and so people can make
I would
fun
not
games.
imagine that Sublevel 0 is easy to make. That's a 6 Degree of Freedom 3D game.
Not necessarily.
But it's pixelated.
There's a lot less rendering and art involved in making certain kinds of pixel games, so you can focus on the gameplay rather than making the most beautiful ever textures.
Yeah, I hear you. So anyway, where were we? We were going to say goodbye. Dan.
We were saying goodbye.
Dan, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, Veg, say goodbye.
Goodbye, and this is the longest time I've been up in like 2 weeks.
Go to bed.
Go to bed, Veg, because we're done here. Until next time, guys, this is Runkly signing off for 6 Gaming Podcast. Dan, take it away.
You're a bed.
See you, bye.